The storm outside sounds like the world's still trying to end. Wind howls through the pines, rattling the cabin walls like it's got a personal grudge. But in here it's warm. The fire's burned down to embers, casting long shadows across the tools I've laid out on the table. Rust snores by the stove, one ear twitching at the thunder. I pick up the broad fork first, feeling its weight. Listen to that, Rust. Sounds like the apocalypse is still happening out there. But in here, we're ready. Every one of these tools earned its place through sweat or trade or pure dumb luck. And I know each one like I know my own scars. I run my thumb along the broad fork's tines. This beauty breaks up compacted soil without flipping it, preserves all those little tunnels the worms make. Found it at old man Thompson's place. He didn't know what it was worth. Forged iron tines, ash handle, will outlast me if I take care of it. And I do, every damn week. The digging fork's next. 4 times, heavy duty. Turns soil, breaks up clods, digs up potatoes. The points are still sharp after 2 seasons in this rocky dirt. That's good steel for you. Doesn't lie, doesn't quit. I set it down with a clank that echoes through the cabin. Pick up the mattock. Pick on one side, adze on the other. For when the ground's harder than my stubborn head. Took me 3 tries to find one with a proper temper. This one cuts through roots like butter. Had to pry it out of a collapsed hardware store under a pile of broken shelves, worth every blister. Grandpa's old Warren hoe catches the firelight, sharp blade, perfect angle, makes weeding rows feel almost easy. Almost. He used to say, a dull hoe is a lazy gardener. I didn't listen then. I do now. The seed drill's next. Even spacing, even depth. No wasted seed. Traded my last good hunting knife for this. Best deal I ever made. I turn the crank, listening to the mechanism click. Just a pointed stick with a handle, but the dibber makes perfect holes for seeds every time. Made it myself from an old broom handle. Fancy? No. Effective? Always. Mom's old garden trowel. For transplanting seedlings. The blade's thin, but it's still got life in it. Good for working in tight spaces. I rub my thumb over the initials she carved into the handle. The scuffle hole drags across the floorboards with a whisper. Push it just under the surface, and it slices weeds off at the roots. No bending over. My back thanks me every time. Wheel hose next. Covers ground fast. Adjustable blades. Saved my knees last season. I spin the wheel, feeling the smooth motion. For the weeds that think they're clever, the hand weeder gets right in between the carrots. Precision work. I twirl it between my fingers. The sickle's curved blade gleams in the firelight. Cutting grain, harvesting grass for the chickens. Keep it sharp and it'll serve you forever. I'll test the edge with my thumb. Not just for pruning these shears, good for harvesting beans, cutting twine, even trimming the chicken's nails if I'm careful. Versatile as hell, like everything needs to be now. I snip the air, listening to the crisp sound. Sharp as hell, the harvest knife folds up safe. Cuts everything from squash to twine to kindling if I needed to. I flick it open, feeling the weight. The watering can's dented but doesn't leak, for when the seedlings need a gentle touch, I slosh the last drops onto the floorboards. Hauling water from the creek 1 gallon at a time builds character, they say. I kick the bucket, hearing the hollow sound. The drip irrigation, just a bucket with a hole suspended over the rows. Slow and steady wins a race. The wheelbarrow hauls everything, soil, compost, firewood. Fix the tire with a bike tube, good as new. I give the wheel a spin. When the wheelbarrow's not enough, the garden cart is built like a tank. Handles full sacks of potatoes, no problem. I pat the sturdy sides. Moving hay, straw, manure. Simple tool does its job. Pitchfork's tines are still straight after years of use. I stab it into the floorboards. Cast iron green mill. Heavy as sin, but it'll last forever. Grinds feed for the chickens. They earn their keep, so I make sure they eat well. I turn the crank, feeling the resistance. For our flour, takes muscle, but it's worth it. Fresh bread is a luxury now. I grind a handful of wheat, smelling the fresh flour. The machete slides from its sheath with a whisper, clears brush, chops kindling, harvests. One tool, 3 jobs. The blade still got its original edge. I draw it from its sheath, feeling the balance. Axe for the big stuff, hatchet for precision. Both keep an edge like nobody's business. I'll test their sharpness with my thumb. The pruning saw folds out with a snap, cuts branches, builds repairs, processes firewood. I unfold it, running my finger along the teeth. For the delicate work, keeping plants healthy, small but essential, I snip a dead leaf from a houseplant with the hand pruners. A sharp tool is a safe tool, and a safe tool means I don't waste energy or risk injury. I run the file along the edge of the hoe, listening to the whisper of metal on stone. Every single one of these is made from good steel or forged iron. They don't break, they don't bend, and most of them do double or triple duty. That machete clears trails and harvests. The pruning shears work on plants and animals. Versatility means less to carry, less to maintain, less to worry about. And they're all simple. No fancy parts to replace. A file and some oil keeps most of them running forever. That's what I need. Tools that work when I need them, every time. But here's the thing, Rust. Tools are only as good as the hands using them. I can have all this and still starve if I don't know what I'm doing, if I don't put in the work, if I don't pay attention. So that's my arsenal. Not much to look at maybe, but it's everything I need to turn seeds into food, to turn this patch of dirt into survival. And that's more than most people have these days. I clip a oil rag and start on the broad fork. Now, let's get these tools ready. Spring's coming, and we've got work to do. The fire crackles, the storm howls, but in here, it's only the sound of metal on stone and the quiet determination of a man preparing for the season ahead. Yep, that's what I've got. Not fancy, but it works, and that's all that matters now.